Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. I will wait 2 more minutes to let your friends join in. Hi, good morning, Kalpana. Good morning, Karthik. Hi, Abhishek. How are you? So, if you guys are here to join in our Slack channel, you can join there, uh, so that we can discuss if you need any help. You can share the link across the group, this video link, so that you can enjoy with your friends. And it's perhaps it's helpful for everyone when you don't understand anything your friend may have understood, so they may help you, if you're stuck somewhere. Yeah, hi Dhruv. Okay. Hi Manoj. Hi Kishore. So okay, so we are going to do some interesting things today. We will add some scripts also to make our objects work, and I will make it as a collectible coin or anything. So yeah, good morning again. Hope you are well and safe at your home. So today is our fifth session, and we will discuss about lighting and collider in depth. And after today's class, I will give you the a link of how you can download the go-kart game that we are going to develop at the end. And you can, whatever you are learning in the session, you can apply those learning into that game. So don't worry if you are left behind something. We have designed these sessions such a way that you don't have to worry about whatever you're doing on the scene, it may not be required for your scene. Okay, so your scene will be completely yours and completely creative for yours. Okay, you don't have to worry about but there is something that I did in my scene and you didn't do for your scene. So just try to catch as much as deliveries from the session, and apply those in your scene. And if you think you forgot something, and you can always come back, and these videos are always there, so it's going nowhere. You can always come back and see if you are missing something for your scene. Okay, so with that, let's start. So yeah, so this is the Slack channel that we have. I'll just turn off my video. So this is a Slack channel we have, and we discuss uh, the issues over here, and we solve problems as well. Okay, so you got the link in the description. You can join from there. You just have to click on the link and create your register with your email IDs, and that will drop you into this channel. Okay, so anything you think you need help, you can post it on the gaming with Unity this channel. Okay, so I don't prefer you message me directly, because if you have any problem, the same problem, it may be the same problem, same issues with your friends as well. Okay, so once I solve that, it will solve so many of their problem. Okay, so let me open Unity Hub. Okay, let's turn off this presentation as well. Okay, so this Unity Hub, and I'll open. And if you guys already have downloaded 2020.3 and the LTS version that we have, so it's well and fine. If you are using lower version than that, you can always go back and you can download. Okay, so this is where we left. Okay, the last session. So I will open. I'll open rollerball scene instead. Okay, so there we did added one coin. Okay, so I'll go for the coin. Okay, I double clicked on it and it came from. Okay, so okay, so let me play and check whether it's working fine. Okay, now in the play mode, you see it's moving like, it's giving me a notice that you can collect me. So when I'm going to collect it, no, it's just refusing me to touch with it, because our ball and this cube both have colliders connected. Okay, so when both of these have colliders connected, we can't pass through. Okay, and it will try to obstruct us to go within. Okay, and if this is in play mode, so if I go to coin parent, if I go to the coin, okay, and if I turn off box collider, okay, so I turned off box collider, and if I try to go through, you can see now I'm able to go through. So there is no physics feeling inside the object. Okay, because I have turned off the box collider. So similarly, if it's a capsule or anything, okay, if you turn off the colliders in there, that won't interact with the object. Your object will be able to pass through your object player or anything. Okay, so now I activated it, reactivated it. So I'll just stop playing. So I'll ask you for any confusion regarding collider, because I think we already have discussed at a bit about colliders. If that is okay for you, so I'll directly jump into how we can make it as a collectible, and we'll start lighting on the same. Okay, so any questions up to now? Okay, so what is a collider? Okay, um, a collider is it's a invisible bound to an object. Okay, So suppose we have a physics, okay, it's physical object in the real world, okay. You suppose me and you, okay, so I'm a physical object for this world, and you can't pass through me, okay. So I have some rigged, okay, I have some rigged body with in my area. So I have skins, bones, and those things, so that you can't pass through me, okay. So because we will collide together, okay. So when I'll go to you, you'll come to me, and we'll both collide. We can't pass through each and on us. So similarly, so when we talk about games, so games are, somehow it's a simulation of real world things, okay. And it's a kinds of it's user defined world itself, okay. So user can make their own kind of sci-fi fantasies or anything they can design. So it's a different world. So in these gaming world as well, you have to have something to make two objects collide with each other, okay. So that is collider. So different kind of shapes, different kind of objects may have different kind of colliders. Like if I add one sphere here, okay, so this is a sphere, and you can see sphere has a sphere collider connected. It's not a box collider. So box has a different shape, and collider that sphere has, that's a different one, okay. So according to the shape, your collider should be there. So if I add a box collider on the spherical shape, okay, I'll just add one. So how we can, if my object, if I accidentally, or if anyway my object doesn't have any collider, so I'll remove the sphere collider, okay. So now it doesn't have any collider there, the green wires are gone, okay. So look closely. So how we can add one collider? We'll just go to add component, okay. We can search for sphere collider, box collider, any collider that we want, or otherwise we can go to physics. We can add box collider, capsule collider, character collider, character joint. So there are number of objects, number of components are available inside physics, okay. So you can add those: wheel collider, terrain collider, line. So you need a sphere collider, okay. And you can see these green colored line, those are activated, okay. So these defines that it has a collider connected, okay. So now if I add one box collider instead of sphere collider, okay, and you can see it has added one box collider, and it doesn't look appropriate, okay. So when you will try to move it around, like our roller ball, okay. So our roller ball has a sphere collider. So when we try to move it around, it won't move. I'll just show you why, okay. So our roller ball has a sphere collider connected. I'll just deactivate it. So there is a option to activate and deactivate. I'll just deactivate this sphere collider, okay, and I'll add one box collider, okay. And now I'll just try to play and see what is the effect, okay. So now you can see I'm not able to move, and it's moving like a box, okay. And it stopped moving, okay. It's moving like a box, okay. So it has a spherical shape, but as it doesn't have any of the appropriate collider connected, so that is why it's acting like it's a box right now, okay. So That is how appropriate collider is important for an object. Okay, got the point? So I'll stop playing and I'll remove the box collider and I'll activate the sphere collider. Okay, and so with the physics we're discussing today, so I'll just move this one. So this box collider is it's not inappropriate to a sphere. So instead of a sphere collider, what we have to add is one. Instead of box collider, we have to add one sphere collider. Okay, so now it's looking appropriate. So see if we increase the size of the sphere, okay, the collider size also increases. Okay, and if I reset everything to 111, so when we add one object, so its default scale is 111. So if you want to scale it up, you can do it dragging this point, or you can increase the values over here. So it's x2, y2 and z2. Okay, so you can change the values and you can see the effect immediately over there. So suppose if you want to increase the collider size as well, okay, you can do that. So there is a point, so there are points you can see. You clicking on this edit collider. Okay, so just click on this edit collider and there are points. Okay, by which you can increase the collision size. Okay, so in this size, if anything touches it, it will collide with that object. Okay, so similarly you can increase the size of the box collider as well. So I'll go to coin and edit collider. You can edit the collider always to this side, to all the 6 sides. Okay, a box has how many sides? Do you know how many faces? If I talk mathematically, how many faces a box have? Yeah, 6, correct. Okay, so you can increase the face in 6 ways: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so is it understandable, or it's something like rocket science? Okay, so I hope you're understanding it. Okay. Okay, so moving on. So the collider is understandable, right? And if I talk about the roller ball, and it has, if you see in the components, it has a rigid body as well. Okay, so rigid body has some parameters. It's one mass, okay, drag, angular drag, use gravity. Okay, so if you looking at the parameters, if you see, so it talks about mass, gravity, kinematic. Okay, so this thing here, because it's giving the roller ball a rigid body component. Okay, so this rigid body, it adds mass in an object, and it uses a gravity as well. Okay, so the effect of gravity, how we can see that is, I'll just take this object a bit up. Okay, so see our ball has a sphere collider connected, okay, and our ground, okay, this ground over here, the ground obstacles, you can see this ground, extends, okay. So this over here, with this entire ground, it has a mesh collider connected, okay. So we have some primitive objects like sphere and coin, okay, and some of the objects, it may not be, if our body, if we assume our body or a character we have in the scene, so that object may not be a primitive object, right? So if we add one sphere collider, it won't work. If it's a box collider, it will work, but it will not be appropriate to a body, okay. So to add collision on an user defined object or a 3D object that is not primitive type, we add mesh collider into it, okay. So if we add mesh collider, what it will do, it will calculate the mesh, okay. So what is a mesh? A mesh is a wireframe, okay. So let me add one object so that you will understand better. I will add a tree. Okay, so yeah, I have a tree, so I'll add one tree over here, okay. So a tree, if you see, okay, so this tree, it has some multiple colliders connected with it, okay, because you can't define a tree with a primitive box collider or anything. You can do that, but it's not appropriate. So this object, okay, different object has collider connected with it, okay. So this entire object, if you see, it has a mesh, okay. So what is that mesh? That mesh is the entire object over here. So it has a different shapes and it's a completely different wireframe, okay. So it's like an image, it has pixels, right? So if you zoom its last end, zoom to it last end, you will get to see that there are everything is pixelite, okay. So the more pixels a image has, it more clearer, right? So in 3D models also it's similar. More wireframes, more polygons 3D object have, it's much more smooth, okay. So that is why it's this conifer has a smooth mesh connected, that is why it's looking like very smooth, okay. Okay, so so our body is also like that. So there are cells, skin cells are there. So if you see it with a microscope or anything, you'll get to see that there are polygons are there, okay. So wireframes are nothing but this cell, you can say, okay, if you try to relate it with the real world. So joining thousands, millions or billions of polygon, a complex 3D mesh is made, okay. So we call that as a mesh. So mesh is nothing but wireframe of an object, okay. So so I'll delete this tree, and so adding a mesh collider. So adding a mesh collider, what it will do? So our game engine will calculate the mesh it has, okay, and it will add a custom collider around it, okay. So like our body, if we have a statue, okay, so a statue has a different it's a kind of a human body, like, right? So it's not a primitive object that if we add one sphere collider, then it's fine. If we add one box collider, that's fine, okay. We can do that if it's if it non playable character, okay, NPC, and a statue, we can add one sphere collider on on his head and box collider around his body, that we can do. But the simplest term, we can add one mesh collider, so that it will add one, it will calculate the mesh and it will add one collider area around it. Understood? Is it understandable? Okay, good. So moving on. So our roller ball, okay. So I was just discussing about rigid body, okay. So our ground has a collider connected, our ground has a collider component with it, okay. It's a mesh collider, and our ball, okay, our player, okay, it has a spare collider connected, okay, and it has a rigid body connected. So let's see the effect. Now you see the ball, it dropped from the top, okay. The initially it was at the it was a bit elevated, but it dropped when we started playing the game, okay. Why it happened like that? Because it has a rigid body connected, okay, and the mass is 1, okay. So according to the mass, if you decrease the mass value, I'll show you. So if I so the mass is 1, okay. If I decrease the mass value to 0.5, okay, and if I play it, now it will drop more slower, okay. It will drop half, okay. So it dropped, but it was slow, okay. So if I take the object, okay, there, so it's always dropping. Then you can see now if the value is 1, and okay, it's dropping a bit faster. And if I unplay, and if I make it more elevated, okay, and if I change the value to 5, okay, you can see how fast it dropped from the sky, okay. So a rigid body component attached to an object, it will give it some physical parameters into it, okay. So when it's elevated, or when it has a collider with a rigid body, it will collide with another object, and it will stay stable on a plane surface, okay. If it's not a plane surface, then it like a human, it will go towards the ground only, okay. So suppose our ground that we have, it doesn't have any collider. So our rigid body object won't collide with that, okay. So let's see. So we have a mesh collider connected with our ground. I'll just deactivate it, okay, and let's see the effect. So it's not staying on the ground, okay, because the collider is deactivated, okay. So to collide with another object, or to make it stable on a ground, so ground should have one collider on it. So it's pretty understandable that if it doesn't have any collider, how it will collide with that object, and how it will keep itself stable, okay. Understood? Okay. So with that, so I hope you understood rigid body as well. If you have more question, you can ask. Um, okay. So now we are going to change the lighting a bit. Okay. And we have to change the lighting. First of all, we have one uh, directional light added. Okay. The directional. So it's there are two directional lights added. Okay. So one is from left, one is from right. This sort of things are there. Okay. So what if I deactivate both of those objects? Okay. How to deactivate it? How to deactivate an object? It's like you click on an object and you go to this checkbox over here. You just uncheck it. Okay. And it will deactivate the object. Okay. It's present in the scene, but it's deactivated now. And similarly, if I deactivate this one, okay, now there are no light in the scene. Okay, it's all flat. In the game view, it's all dark and flat. Okay. uh, the mic, is it okay now? Okay, I hope the mic is working fine now. Okay, so I just have deactivated. Yeah, I just have deactivated both of these lights. Okay, now you see our scene doesn't have any light. Okay, so when we create a new scene, you will get a directional light ready-made over there. But if you think that you need more custom light, if you're working on something that is night scene. Okay, so the scene or lighting, everything should be in a nightscape. Okay, how we do that? So I'll right click on the hierarchy window and I'll go to light. Okay, so here you can see there are different types of lights there: directional light, point light, spotlight, area light, reflection probe, and light probe. Okay, so forget about reflection probe and light probe, so we will discuss when it's needed. Okay, so we'll discuss when it's needed. um, Now we want to add one point light. Okay, so I have added one point light. So I think if you can see the effect, right? Just a second. So I think you can see the effect. Okay, so, and the range is 10 right now. So there are some of the values you can add to it. So the point light is different from a directional light. Okay, so the shape is also different, things like that. Okay, so when I've added one point light, and a point light, the light if I click on point light and go to inspector, I get to see that the light type, it's point, spot, directional, area. Okay, so there are different type of light system are there. Okay, and here is the range. Okay, so the point light has a range. Okay, so I can change the range. Okay, and it will light accordingly. Okay, so it's like if you need a bigger area, then you can do that. So I can change the intensity as well. Okay, so increasing the intensity, it will change the light amount. Okay, and I can change the color. Okay, so if it's like a war room kind of a scene, you can make it all reddish. You can add those kind of effects over there. So I'm happy with white. Okay, and there are some other things you can do. Shadow type, no shadows. You can add soft shadows to receive your object some shadow. Okay, so hard shadows you can so it's according to your requirement only. Okay, so I've added one hard shadow, so it's giving me some shadow, if you see on the object over here. Okay, so if I move this one, you can see the shadow. Okay, if I deactivate shadow, what happens? So no shadow means there are no shadows, okay, at all. Okay, so the soft shadows work fine. Again, working on the shadows, it takes more graphics intense. Okay, so if your object, if you have some of the object that you don't want them to receive any kind of light, or some of the light it has, if you don't want them to create shadows around it, you can go for no shadows. Okay, so like this, you can add more light. Okay, you can right click on the hierarchy window, you can go to light and you can add more point light. Okay, or otherwise you can duplicate it just, and you can drag it here. So that this is how you can customize your scene with different kind of lights. Okay, and so there are another cool light there. It's a spotlight. Okay, I'll show you. So I've deactivated both of these point light that I cleared it, and I'll go to light again, and I'll go to spotlight. Okay, so the effect you'll get to see over here. So if you see, it's like a Mr. Bean will drop over here. Okay, so earlier back in the days when we watch Mr. Bean, so there are light beam like this. Okay, and Mr. Bean used to drop from the top. Okay, so even in YouTube, if you search for Mr. Bean YouTube also, you'll get to see that. So I think I hope most of you have seen that. Okay, so spotlight is it coming from a particular point of direction. Okay, and it is going somewhere. Okay, so whenever it's hitting on a surface, it's giving the light to that particular area only. Okay, so you can always increase the range. Okay, so it will go more in depth. You can change its spot angle. Okay, you can change the spot angle. You get to see that maybe it's working like the light you have at your room, if it's on the ceiling. Okay, so like that. Okay, so you can add more customized light like okay, and as you have your requirement, you can use those light. Okay, so if I want to add one light, so if I want to add one light um, which will move with time or move with the animation. Okay, so let us create one interesting effect with the coin. Okay, so I have a coin. So coin has an animation animation controller connected, and to make it more interesting, I'll just drag and drop my spotlight onto the coin. Okay, Okay, now my spotlight is a child of the coin. Okay, so it's understandable that when our animation will be activated, when you will play the game, when the animation will be there, the spotlight will also move with the coin. Okay, so I'll just change its position. I'll just take it in the middle of the coin. So the whatever values I have with the coin, okay, I'll change it to spotlight as well. So I'll make it as, so our coin has a position of 0 0 0. I'll change it to 0 0 0. Okay, okay. Now you see, it's beaming some light from the cube, okay, or the coin that we are going to use. Okay, so I just want to change the range to its default value. I can do it from here, or otherwise I can go to there and I can click on reset. Okay, so everything will be resetted. I want it to cast some shadows. It's a soft shadow. Intensity is more brighter, like 2, and and spot. Okay, it's a spot angle, and the intensity maybe, the range may be 5. Okay, so you can customize these values and you'll get to see the effect immediately in the editor. Okay, now let's play the game. Now you see, light is moving with the object. Okay, similarly you can animate the light itself to make it a some kind of lighthouse kind of thing. You can do that right here. So the possibilities are enormous. As you have requirement with your storyboard, or you have something in your mind, you want to design that this way, you can do that always. Okay, so I think the effect is pretty good. I'll keep it that way. Okay, so is it understandable till now? Okay, so Marlene, I'm seeing one question from Marlene, that is, okay, if you can join the Slack channel, if you have any issues or you want to discuss who all are the joinees we have. Okay, so you'll get your problem solved with there. So okay, so is it understandable till now? Okay, so I haven't added light to the roller ball. You can do that. So I'll create another one inside roller ball. Okay, so I clicked on roller ball. Okay, so perhaps I'll right click on it. Okay, and I will go to light and I'll add one um, spotlight. Okay, if you want a point light, you can do that. So point light is uh, more appropriate, I think, with the ball. Okay, so I'll show you how why I don't prefer to add one spotlight over there. Okay, so I have a point light, and the range I want to small. Okay, I can increase its intensity. Okay, maybe 3. Okay, 3 is good. Okay, so let's play. So now you see it's moving around. Okay, so and light is also moving around with it because uh, it has a point light as a child. Okay, so it's following the path of the parent and it's moving with it. Okay, so so you can add more light according to your scene or according to your requirement, and you can make pretty cool effects for your game. Okay, so whatever game that we are going to develop at the end, it's a go-kart racing game, you can add different kind of lights over there. Okay, so the session that we are delivering, it's everything for learning. Okay, try to take as much as you can, try to understand it, and at the end of the session, when you open your Unity editor, so that you know whatever you have learned you can apply those. It's not necessary that I'm working on this rollerball scene, I have added lights on the rollerball scene, so you also have to add those lights in the rollerball scene itself. No, you have multiple scenes available. I'll just stop playing. If you go to assets and simple scenes, okay, go to sample scenes and go to scenes, and you'll get, you know, there are number of scenes are there. You can open any one and you can start working, okay, as you want. Okay, so it will help. It's not like, you know, I'm working or I'm teaching you with this rollerball scene, and everything you do, you have to do it on the rollerball scene only. No, you can do it on whatever you want. Okay, okay, so is it going good, or feeling like you're left out? Okay, clicking on the sample, so you have to double click on it, bro. uh, so double click on sample scenes and go to scenes. Okay, so assets, sample scenes, scenes. Okay, so um, I will I you can add much more coin. Okay, so just make sure that, and I'll just delete these point lights and this unnecessary spare as well. Okay, so I have a coin over here, and the coin has his parent. Okay, and the coin has a spotlight connected. Okay, so the if I tell you to duplicate the coin, okay, you must be thinking of duplicating the coin itself. Okay, so no, please don't do that. When I ask you to duplicate the coin, okay, just duplicate the coin parent. Okay, so that it will come with all the position and everything as 000 to the coin. Okay, so if I move the coin there, okay, and I'll duplicate it again. So to duplicate, uh, you can go for Control D, okay, or you can right click on it, you can click on duplicate, okay, and you can move it. Okay, and um, let us see the effect right now. Okay, so you see one coin is moving. So if I'll I'll add some script in the next coming sessions, and we'll get to see that our coin is interacting with our player, and our player is able to take some points when it touches the coin. Okay, here you can see I have a coin over here as well, so I can go and touch it. So we have to just add scripts over there to collect it. 1 2 3. Okay, so I'm surrounded with coins. So you can go to scene and you can see everything is moving out there. Okay. One, two, no, 3. Okay. So what I did earlier was I didn't. Okay. Okay, so like this you can work on your scene, and you can add you learn how we can animate an object, and I think all the scene you will get inside sample scene or anywhere, it won't have any kind of this kind of coin collection effect. So so you can work it anywhere, any of the scene, and you can add this kind of coins over there. So and then the coming sessions we'll add script onto it, so that our player will be able to collect it. So just don't search online that how you can make a coin or anything like that, because if you are in problem with the scripts, so that problem with the script will be different for each one of you. So I cannot solve those issues. So it's better to wait. Okay, be patient, explore the different scenes that you have. Okay, I think some of you already have downloaded projects from the LAN. Okay, so you can do that too. Okay, to explore something by yourself. So the go-kart racing game that we are going to develop, so it's out of this karting micro game. Okay, so if you already have downloaded it, then it's okay, and if you are not, then click on download. Okay, so download the project. Okay, keep it in the system, or if you want to explore it earlier, you can do that. Okay, it's similar to this. If you go to sample scenes, okay, if you want this car scene, okay, so it's similar to this car scene only. Okay, there is no much of extraordinary things in terms of assets or anything. Okay, so it's similar to this car scene only. Okay, you can explore. So open the car scene, just click on the car, you can go to the car, you can see how they have designed the track and all. Okay, see the track. Okay, just click on the ramp. Okay, ground track, so track is predefined. Okay, you can move the track. Okay, like this. I don't want to mess up the things over here. Okay, so you can edit things. You can if you want to add obstacles like this. Okay, so the box pile. Okay, so move the box pile here and there. Okay, and try to imagine that you are going to develop this game, and there are some sort of things that you want to change out of these entire scene. Okay, you can always create a new material. You know how to create a material, and if you want, you can change the color of the track, change the color of the ground. Anything you want to do, you can do that. Okay, so that is it for today. So if you want more, we can discuss on the Slack. I'm available there. And if you are facing any issues and that you are unable to play a game, you are getting some weird errors in the console, we'll solve that too. Okay, so some of your friends are there already, so who already have solved their problem. So if I'm not available, then anyone can help you from there. Okay. How to move the roller ball? Okay, just click on play. Okay, just play it and move with arrow keys. Okay, WASD or your forward, backward, left, right arrow. uh, okay, but is it showing some error or anything? Ayush, it should open. It's like a folder only. Okay, so the just double click on it, it will open like a folder. Yeah, Slack, the link to join in the Slack group, it's available in the description. So okay, thank you guys, thank you for being a nice audience here, and hope you got what we try to deliver to you, and you will apply those to your customized game or the scene you want. Okay, so there everything is available in the project if you have imported standard assets, and just go for it, just edit it and try different new things. If you have, just don't search anything online, just download it and apply it on your project. Okay, so the problems will be different for each one of you, so we can't solve that way. Okay, the standard assets, I think it has enormous number of assets that you will need for to learn. Okay, and otherwise you can go for Unity learn itself. Okay, and I showed you to download this karting micro game. Just download it. So we'll start digging into go-kart rush. Okay, so this karting micro game, we will turn it into a go-kart rush game with your customized lighting, prefabs, all the skylight, everything. We'll change it, and I'll teach you how to change it, and you'll change it by your own. Okay, so that each one of you will have different version of go-kart. Okay, so yeah, I think pretty much that is it. I hope you all are safe at your home. You're keeping yourself protected from the coronavirus, and you're helping your family also to follow all the protocols that we have to follow. So thank you guys, and see you next time.